Hello, sexy people. Some might say that installing Linux as a Windows application on your Windows computer just makes your system more complicated, increases frustration levels, and leads to your computer inevitably catching fire and exploding. To them, I would say, you don't know what you're talking about, girly pop. Let me show you the power of Windows Subsystem for Linux. Now let's grow those neckbeards by right-clicking on the Windows icon and then going PowerShell. Well, terminal as administrator. Oh, I have two open, we only need the one of them. And then type in these 6 characters, WINVER. WinVer. If you're using Windows 10, you will need version 2004 or higher, and specifically build number 19041. As you can see, I'm on 23H2. If your system is outdated, you've failed at Windows, you should update your system as well as update your attitude. For you ballers running Windows 11, this is supported by default. We need to make sure your system is even set up to run virtualization. I know, big scary word, don't worry, it's fine. You can check this by doing Control-Shift-Escape to open up Task Manager, or you can right click the taskbar and click on Task Manager. You might have to click on more details to see this, but click on the Performance tab and click on CPU. And if you look here, it'll say virtualization either enabled or disabled. If you're freaking out and you can't see this option, just assume it's disabled. Now, if this is disabled, then sorry, but you're on your own. Got you. To enable this, you just have to enter your motherboard settings, but there's no need to be scared. Anyone can do this. What I like doing is holding down the shift key while clicking restart. Or you can type this command, shutdown.exe/r/o/f/t0 to boot into the advanced startup options. From there, click troubleshoot, advanced options, then UEFI firmware settings. It would restart. But if you're on an older, stinkier system, then we gotta mash some keys while restarting. Type in msinfo32. And as you can see, underneath your system name, you'll see the brand of your motherboard or somewhere else. Now, if you check down in the description, good old me put a handy article listing a good number of BIOS keys associated with your brand of computer or motherboard. If you scroll down a little bit, I have a Gigabyte, so I will look for Gigabyte. There is Gigabyte. The first one is the boot menu, and the second one is the motherboard settings, the BIOS or UEFI settings. Now, I'll restart my computer, keep tapping delete to get into the BIOS. So you need to check either under processor or chipset, maybe Northbridge, I'm not sure. There's a setting called VT-X for Intel or AMD-V for AMD. If you're able to, enable VT-D as well as AMD IOMMU if you can for AMD. Once you're ready to save the settings, I think you can hit F10 to save and exit, restart your computer, and then hey, welcome back. Now we can get into the fun stuff. The first thing that you need to do is install this program. Let's do the command wsl-install. And this process will take a little bit installing Windows Subsystem for Linux as well as enabling the features necessary to run it. Oh, really? Did it not set a timer? You are joking. What? Didn't I tell it to set it? Maybe it was an alarm. Do we really not have any alarms? Really? What? Okay, well, I had to do it again. I'm honestly not too sure why this worked without a restart. Probably best to restart after this anyway. I'm going to type in the Unix username Flacco. You can put any username you want. Stay away from the uppercase, the spaces, the symbols, the emojis, you know. Enter in a password. Totally not typing password 1. And then once you're in, run these commands, sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade -y. Enter in that password that isn't password 1. Once this is complete, let's close out of this, and I suggest you restart your computer. Open up a Windows terminal or PowerShell as admin, then type in the command wsl-set-default-version 2. Okay, I'm going to restart my computer and we come back and we finish up the final steps. Well, it turns out wsl-install isn't all that was made out to be. Do Windows R and then type in optional features. Scroll down until you see the Windows Subsystem for Linux. Tick that, go OK, restart your computer. And it will say that your computer is applying changes kind of like it's updating. I've got to say, this has been quite a nightmare. Once you're back in, then you can download the WSL2 Linux kernel update package for x64 machines. Click open, go next, yes, finish, done. Now, if you want to install a Linux distribution, you should already have Ubuntu installed. But if you want to store another one, go to the gross Microsoft store and then you can search one. But if you want to take the red pill and install it manually, type in wsl-list-online. You can see here a list of distributions. Now, let's say if you want to install Debian, you can do wsl-install-d Debian. Debian. Can I do Arch, maybe? Even though it's not listed? Nah, Debian. But I'm not going to worry about that. Currently, if you press the Windows button and search Ubuntu, open it up, and congratulations, you have this random black text box on your computer to look at when you're feeling like life isn't interesting. That was a joke. Let's make some cool things happen. Since you have already done update, let's do sudo apt install mlocate. Enter in your password that isn't password 1. Click enter, and it will run this command plocate. If I open up Task Manager, you'll see in a while my disks will start being used. Here we go, C drive is now being used. What this is doing is going through and creating a database of all of your files in all locations of your system. Why would you want that? Well, I'm so glad you asked. The reason is because when you're searching for files, it is much quicker to search in a database than it is directly on the drive itself. Have you ever wanted to locate any specific file that you just don't know where it is, and you're typing in the Windows search box, it's taking 3 years, and you still can't find the file? Well, this will solve all of your problems. And we're done, finally. All finished. Now we can actually use the power of Windows Subsystem for Linux. How this works is creates a database of all the files for each of the drives attached to your system. All your drives are stored under /mnt, but you don't need to worry about that. You have the drive letters here. Let us find throughout all of our drives the folder called Genshin. Locate Genshin. Boom, done. Let's find all the text files within Genshin, grep.txt. You can see in these really weird locations, it just comes up with it. Let's locate a file that I lost called cutefile.txt. And instantly, it's right there, as well as a shortcut to that file. Let's then copy this and then run a Linux command. You don't have to worry about it, cat, and we can read the Qt file. Now, once this is done, you have to manually go update db, sudo with it as well, to update your database. If you delete a file, it won't update the database automatically. So what you do, you go sudo crontab-e, just go number 1. At the very bottom, add 0 space asterisk space asterisk space asterisk /usr/bin/update db. And that will run every day at 12 AM, automatically updating the database of files. So if you ever need to find anything, locate GitHub, and it shows me all of the stuff that includes GitHub. Let's choose all the SSL stuff. What grep does is it only shows the lines with the matching text SSL, and it will just show me exactly where it is where I can find the files. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy your new power of Windows Subsystem for Linux. Thank you all for watching.